it's postseason play, and we took Monday off, went yesterday, and just very light, and did a lot of individual work to kind of clean up a few things, and then obviously just got down here this morning, and it's all about us. There's been no game prep, not knowing who we play, but it's almost like a breath of fresh air hits you, when you get out of the grind of league play, and get into something a little different, a little new, and our guys are excited about that. So, looking forward to Indianapolis. It could be one of those elite tournaments, man, where there's literally anybody could win it, and we don't fear anybody, and yet every night's going to be an absolute dogfight, no matter what the opponent is, so, or who the opponent is. So looking forward to it, and then we'll see what happens on Friday and who we play.
Brad, there's speculation that a good run of the tournament can boost your seed in the NCAA's a notch or two. What's the biggest motivation for you guys in this tournament?
Winning. We can only control what the one thing I've figured out a long time ago is what happens in that room. There's so many factors, and there's going to be so many Big Ten teams in, and how they put you and where they concede you, and all of that stuff means, it's somewhat important, but it's we're going there to win. We're going there to win, and we'll see what happens with the other stuff on Selection Sunday.
Feels like we've talked about the big men in this conference a lot, but have you seen a collection of big men it seems like they all do something a little different than the last in a tournament like this? It feels kind of unique.
No, this, and when I was in the Big 12, it was a point guard league, and every team had elite point guards, and this year it's elite bigs, and not that the guards are bad because they're really good too, but and they're also varied in terms of their skill set, and you've got tremendous low post players, you got tremendous defenders, you got tremendous 3-point shooters, you got guys that do a little bit of both, and they do it at different sizes. Some weigh 270, some weigh 210, but it's an elite league for size and for bigs.
Coach, when you look back at where you are now, what kind of got you here? Is it a moment or two back a year ago, 2 years ago, where you thought, okay, we've got this ball rolling in the right direction?
Well, I've always believed in what we were doing.
Right.
And I think that, you can probably pinpoint certain, IO's signing and,
sure,
and believing in us. You can, it's been more of an everyday grind and an everyday process, sure, to get it here. It's nothing happens overnight. It's not like all of a sudden you wake up and you've got the winning lottery ticket and you're going to win games. It doesn't work like that. You have to earn your stripes, and you have to earn the right to have success, and I'm a big believer in that, but it's been a lot of people doing a lot of things to help grow this and to help this transition, and the players probably don't get enough credit.
Okay.
The character, their ability to conform and to sacrifice.
Sure.
All that plays into that.
Coffee came and visited on the weekend. You guys, rough game on the court. He visited, and obviously he ended up signing there. How important was that weekend, that moment, that as sort of?
Well, and I think one of the things that we've had the challenges with is, our best attribute is State Farm Center full, and Kofi got to see that. Now, we didn't play very well that night, but he got to see that, and he got to see style of play other than on film, and he got to feel that, and he got to see the value that he could have to us. And when we talked about it, he had a visual to go along with, sure, a live visual. So all that's really important. State Farm is a big piece. It's basketball season, so a lot of recruits don't have the time to come in during the season, and just so happened to work with Kof, and that was a big reason he came, and it was a big weekend for us, no doubt about that.
Brad, since Io came back against Penn State, averaging almost 20 points a game, what have you seen from him over these last 6 that kind of allowed you guys to win 5 of those 6 and be in the position that you're in?
Well, Iowa's really good. I mean, you're hard pressed to find a better guard in this league and in this country than Iowa. And you know, I think it's not just the points. You know, let's look at the 8 assists he had the other night, and we smoked a couple layups and he put the ball right on guys. And you know, he was hovering around triple-double numbers. And you know, it's not just his points; it's his commitment, his desire. You know, he's in a different place than a lot of people can get to in this time in postseason. He's pretty dialed in.
Not that he necessarily needs it, but expect some extra motivation not being first team by the coaches.
Yeah, he's been shunned his whole life. It's a joke. It's a joke. This kid, everybody's said you can't do this, you can't do that. That motivation is for him, it's shocking to me, but you know, it is what it is. I think it's a great sign. We've got balance. We've had 5 guys score over 20 in a game. When you get balance and those things, sometimes we forget to look at, you know, everybody wants to look at points, or everybody wants to look at steals or rebounds or block shots, put a number by it, and forget what the impact is of an individual. But yeah, all I know is I'm glad he's on my team, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
You said the guys are shooting free throws now. How important is that in tournament time for the guys to make them, and how disappointed were you on Sunday that a couple of those were left out there?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody's going to go 100%. I mean, I had the best free throw shooter in the country at Oklahoma State one year, and Phil Forte. He missed 2. It's very comforting to know you got a guy who's going to make them. But when you're in 1 and 2 possession games, and I told our team today, I said, you know, you look at our last 2 games, home games, I said they're 1 possession games. That's all the postseason is. It's about execution and making free throws, and I don't have any doubt we'll make those.
You mentioned earlier in the year that you feel like when you have a week off to prepare for a game, the team might not be as ready or as prepared. Are you concerned about that going into Friday?
Yeah, it's a little different once you get into regular season than postseason. You got a different. You're not in the grind. You got a little different motivation, but you know, we scrimmaged a lot today. We went up and down a lot today. We were a lot of very, very competitive stuff today, and trying to simulate game stuff. So I'm not overly concerned with that.
What's kind of your approach to watching these games, you know, below you guys? Are you going to be vigorously scouting those teams?
I'm not. I don't watch Big Ten games until I know who we're going to play, and it's time for the scout. But no, our guys will be on it. We've got everything broke up, and we've got guys working ahead with everybody in our bracket, and so we've got an idea. You know, we haven't played Minnesota in a while, and you know, we've seen what they're doing a little bit different and picking up cues and systemic things that they're doing now. But yeah, we'll pay attention. But and our coaches will go scout tomorrow. But you know, we'll deal with that as soon as that game's over on Thursday.
Such a long physical season to have these extra 2 days and skip the Wednesday game. How important is that for these guys?
I hope it's great. You know, I think it's one of the challenges of this time of year. You know, it's you get. You know, I can remember talking to Greg Marshall at Wichita State. You know, in the Valley, you know, they played the tournament early, and how they handled the week off, and you know, he'd give them 4 or 5 days off. And he thought it was one of the most refreshing things ever. Sometimes, you know, if we're fortunate playing the finals on Sunday, you're right up to Selection Sunday, and you could leave again, you know, Tuesday morning, and you try to figure out when your day off is and how you want to handle that thing. So there's all different scenarios. You just manage it the best you can, and like I said, it's 40 minutes every night or however long it takes of maximum effort, and it's control the controllables, and effort and our emotions and enthusiasm are a big part of this.
Every good team has an identity. What are the strengths you see that best equip your squad for a run in the postseason in this Big Ten tournament and NCAA's?
I think we've been guarding. I think our rebounding numbers over the course of the year have been really, really good. I think our, you know, I love the fact we've got really good guards. You know, we've got an emerging star in Kofi in terms of you know, what he's doing, and in the post and how dominant he can be. And, you know, the games slow down. You know, they become a lot of half-court oriented games. Numbers come down in terms of points, and it's about execution and free throws and not turning it over. And I love that fact. I mean, I think we had 5 the other night, and you know, that's usually the recipe for winning basketball.
Talk a lot about the need to make shots. How much value has DeMonte added with being a guy who can step up and knock him down when he's left open?
Teams better guard him. Teams better guard him. I've said it all along. You know, and it's you know, it's been a huge asset for us is him making shots, because now it spaces the floor. It leaves things a little bit more open for Kofi in terms of the tags and where people can move, and then our ability to get the ball in the paint off the dribble, and you know, he's shooting 40+% over his last 5, and it's a pretty good deal. That helps us.
Sorry. What's the dynamic of playing a team a third time if you do see one in the tournament?
I don't worry about it. I really don't. I've done it multiple times, and I've gone 3-0. I've gone 0-3 in a regular season. I've gone 2-1. I think every game has a certain identity. I think you start looking around. Maybe the Missouri Valley tournament's the best one. You know, I think Northern Iowa beat Drake by a big number a week before, and then turn around and get beat by a big number. I don't think there's any. I think it's emotionally. You have to keep it simplistic, and every game is just that. It's that game at that moment, and you got to give your best or you get beat.
How about scheming?